What's up everyone, welcome to this video. Today we're going to review the eFootball update, this midweek update, and there is quite a lot of new stuff. So first you can see the pack with the players here. It's the World Classic with Pele and two new players, Gerd Muller and Zola, two additions to the game. A pretty decent pack here, one of the best packs that has been released now in a while. We're going to look at this in a second. First, we're going to look at everything else that's been added to the game. So the first thing is this featured card, Showtime Mikel Oyarzabal. You can get him for free for 15,000 eFootball points. You just go here in the shop and it is in that section, the sets, where you had Joelinton here. As you can see, I already have claimed him. So a free Showtime card here. Pretty decent player. Of course, they're never going to be as good as these players, these epic players, but still pretty decent as you get it for free. And if you need some eFootball points, then as you can see here with the new FIFA eWorld Cup 2026 challenge, you can get 2,000 points by logging into the website. And there is also campaign objectives that have been added. And, you know, as you remember, you had, of course, last update, 3,000 points also if you logged into the website. So if you go into the website, you can get up to 5,000 points. So that will be 1/3 of the points that you need. So if you play the game a little bit, you'll be able to sign this free Oyarzabal. The Lunar New Year campaign is still going on. You're still going to have to wait a couple of weeks before you can sign one of these Showtime players if you continue to do the missions. So let's have a look now at this pack with Pele, Gerd Muller, and Zola. Let's see the card here. 103 rated Pele, phenomenal finishing and momentum dribbling. So he doesn't have the phenomenal pass that the first Pele that came out had. And I would say because of that, it makes him a little bit less interesting. Momentum dribbling is decent. This Pele will be perhaps more of an attacker. And then, as you can see here, the first thing that you're going to notice just under his name is playstyle, is creative playmaker. So, you know, they made him, in terms of skills, more of an attacker, and the play style is that of an offensive midfielder. And because of that, I think this Pele, despite the ratings that is going to be superior, is going to be like 109 rated or something like that. He's not going to be as good as the other Pele. As you can see from the stats, he's probably going to be excellent, perhaps slightly better than the other Pele, but the playstyle creative playmaker is not really something that they should have given him. They should have made him either a deep lying forward or a whole player, and instead of that they made him a creative playmaker. So let's have a look now at the booster offense creator. Striker instinct, probably going to be the best one. The player skills, double touch, soul control, momentum dribbling, heading, long range curler, one-time shot, phenomenal finishing, through passing, outside curler, and gamesmanship. So the first thing you're going to need to give him is flip-flap, of course. Then I would probably go with a long range shooting. He doesn't have acrobatic finishing, so that's going to be something that you need to give him. He also needs to get fighting spirit. And then I would probably go with aerial superiority, which the previous version of Pele had, that made him very, very useful, even though he's not that tall. But you know, because he has a pretty decent jumping stat. Yeah, 71 here. You know, he is quite athletic, let's say that. And so he actually was doing pretty well in the air with the aerial superiority. So I would say if you have the previous version of Pele, you don't need to spend for this one. If you didn't get a Pele card and you know, you feel like you've missed out and you kind of want it, then perhaps this pack could be an interesting one because you have three excellent players here. The next one is Gerd Muller, new addition to the game. Phenomenal finishing, willpower. So that is a combo that is the same that we saw with Zlatan and also with Romario. Willpower, only 3 players have it, Zlatan, Romario, and him now in the game. And, it gives you up to 8 overpowering shots in the match. So let's have a look at this card. Poacher here for Gerd Muller. Let's have a quick look at the heat map. He's a striker. Not a lot of passing here. He's really going to be the type of finisher. Gerd Muller, a very excellent striker back in his days. He's going to have very, very good offensive awareness and finishing and acceleration, as you can see from the stat. Booster, I would go with striker instinct also. The skills here, he's got heading, long range curler, dipping shot, acrobatic finishing, one-time shot, phenomenal finishing, willpower, outside curler, aerial superiority, and fighting spirit. So he has a lot of skills that are very interesting. Perhaps you should give him the long range shooting also. And then in terms of offensive, especially in terms of striker skills, he's got pretty much everything. You could go with the other shooting skills, like the rising shot and the knuckle shot, if you wanted to have the total set of shooting skills for him. And then I would probably go with something like one-time shot to be able to do combinations with other player, or one-time pass, sorry, to do these 1-2s, so that he can play with his teammates one-touch football and have a chance to go at the goal. But otherwise, he has pretty much everything you need in terms of skills here for an attacker. A pretty decent card. I think he's missing, in the passing department a little bit, and he's a little bit on the smaller size, 176. So, a decent card, but I would say, in terms of top tier cards in the game, Zlatan Ibrahimovic, because of his size and his strength, is still going to be the man. The next one here is Gianfranco Zola, second striker, momentum dribbling and blitz curler. So an interesting combination here with dribbling and blitz curler. He's going to be on the smaller size, as you can see here, 67 kilos, and he's going to be an excellent dribbler, someone that's going to be very, very difficult to stop. He is a creative playmaker. Once again, it would have been more interesting to see him as a whole player also. And perhaps this is going to be the downside of this card. Let's see here, the booster Fantasista. I would go probably with Fantasista or Striker Instinct also for his second booster. He plays for Chelsea, so you can use him in the English League events. Let's look at the player skills now. Double touch, flip flap, soul control, momentum dribbling, long range curler, blitz curler, long range shooting, one touch pass, through passing, gamesmanship. So you definitely want to give him also the fighting spirit. You're going to want to go with a one-time shot. And then he's got, the double touch level 3. Maybe you would give him the Marseille turn to make him even more complete in dribbling. And then I would probably go with passing. He's got the through passing, so I would go with the weighted pass. And maybe if he's going to be a creative playmaker, something like pinpoint crossing could be useful for him. And he also doesn't have acrobatic finishing, so perhaps you could think of giving that skill to him. A decent card, a little bit disappointing that he's a creative playmaker. You get two creative playmakers here. That is not exactly the play style that you would want for these players. Gerd Muller is the one that has, sort of everything perfect for him, for his play style, but is still not as good as Zlatan Ibrahimovic. So personally, I don't think I'm going to spin for this pack because I already have Pele and I already have Zlatan. And Zola, he doesn't really, he's not really good enough so that at this point I'm going to, open a pack just to get that one guy. And but if if you're starting the game and if you don't have player and if this is the first pack that you spin for, then it is a pretty decent pack, especially if you don't have attackers. You will get 3 attackers that are going to be top tier. So let's see what else is in the packs here. We get the player of the week pack. Let's see, you've got Cole Palmer, Dembele, Bernardo Silva, Gyökeres, Carreras gets 1-2. Lisandro Martinez and Anthony is here, the GOAT, Anthony. As usual, these packs not really that interesting. If you do the AI event, you will get one spin for free to try to get the player. Nothing else has been added here in this section here. Nothing else in the pack also. So what do we have left here to check out? Is going to be, we already covered here the free player that you can get with the points. And of course, there is the new tournament here, the FIFA Challenger series. As it was the case, every year you can qualify for the FIFA World Cup through the game. And you can represent your country. Of course, you're going to have to go through several rounds to be able to do that. But in the end, if you do, you will be able to go. I'm not sure where the event is going to be this year. Last time it was, I think, in Saudi Arabia. But you will get a chance to go to, wherever there is finals being played and represent your country. So what's left here, we got the AI events, national teams. It is this week. Of course, in this AI one, you can get a chance for the player of the week. You also have this flexible challenge event where you can get a position token and a random skill token. And for the PvP section, it is national teams also. And as usual, you can get a random skill token, 3 random skill tokens, and 50 eFootball coins. So to recap this update, I think a pretty decent pack this week compared to the previous weeks, at least. Not a not a top card, I would say, because of the play styles. They're a little bit muted, but it's going to be some of the highest rated cards. And for sure, in a 150 player pack, you get 3 of the highest rated cards in the game. So if you're starting the game, this is probably one that you should spin for. But otherwise, if you already have players like Zlatan Ibrahimovic, Ankara, Messi, and Pele already in your team, I don't think it is exactly worth spinning just to get, Gerd, Muller, and Gianfranco Zola. There will be other cards of this guy that will come at a later date. And, if you want to sign them sometime in the future, maybe they will be even higher rated than what they are now. So if you already, have some of the players, I don't think it's worth it. If you're starting the game, probably a good deal for you. So that's it, guys. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a like, and I'll see you all on the next one. Peace.